Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hexagon Hydrology Overall Solution Information Management stream. My name is Suprati Mukhopadhyay. I'm the Regional Manager for Information Management Solutions for Intergraph Process Power and Marine, based out of Asia Pacific. What we are going to concentrate on today is the information management part of the H2O solution modules, and the agenda for today is the H2O information management, which is powered by Intergraph SmartPlant Fusion and SmartPlant Foundation solutions. So let's start. What we're looking at is brownfield plant reality. So I'm on a plant, I'm an operator, and I want to go and do some work on a specific section of the plant. For that, I need to find out what's there. So if I'm looking for inspection reports, emergency action plans, drawings and documents, I need to know that the information that's provided to me by your system is trustworthy. But the truth of a brownfield plant is that we have a drawing which is literally drawn on the plant itself, rather than having a drawing on a paper or electronically, which I can trust. So what we want to get to be able to achieve efficiency in emergency situations specifically, I want to be able to get to a stage where I have one master data set that has a link or reference to information across various systems, so that I should be able to look at the 3D model. I should be able to go and find the operations maintenance manual for specific items, and the inspection documents and certification documents, and so on and so forth, from one single source. So let's look at unstructured information. The idea behind unstructured information and the way we manage them today is that we manage it in an unstructured way as well. What that means is, if an owner-operator had asked for electronic handover, they get scanned PDFs of the documents and drawings created during engineering. And this can keep going. The vendor only has paper copies. The vendor doesn't even have a copy of Excel to create their master tag list, for example. Information is handed over as a hard drive to the owner-operator. So that's how unstructured information gets created. So unstructured information is created in an unstructured way. So it's the way the information is managed over a period of time creates that unstructured information. And if you go to the industry and ask them, most of them will say, well, it shouldn't be like that. And most of them know that it shouldn't be like that. But Bill Van Butselaar from Woodside, who recently went through a similar process of acquiring a vessel, found out that it was like that. And he quoted, well, it is, and what can we do about it? So what if all this information that's lying around in the plants, in the various sources, from in the Z drives and the P drives and so on and so forth, was quickly captured and brought into one place for access by engineers to be able to start making decisions about this information, about these drawings and documents and emergency action plans and inspection reports, whether they are current as built or not. This is where Fusion comes in. So SmartPlant Fusion is a solution driven by Intergraph Process Power and Marine to allow the capture of information from various sources on brownfield plants. So it's basically capturing any unstructured information. So you've got your piping and instrumentation diagrams, your data sheets, procurement documents, operating manuals, and so on and so forth. And it does it in 3 different steps. First step is rapid capture. The capture of all this information needs to be rapid because there is hundreds and thousands, if not millions, of documents lying around on a plant. And to be able to capture it, we need to have to go and do it really rapidly. So Fusion provides a way of crawling through all this information and capture this information rapidly. The second step in Fusion is provided by a tool that allows the engineers who know about this plant, the maintenance aspects of it, and so on and so forth, to identify the master set of these drawings and documents. Because if information lives in various sources, there is a high probability that all this information, a lot of this information is actually duplicated. So there has to be a way to identify the master sets after all the capture has been done. And the third step is to link and cross-reference all this information. So if I've got an operating manual, I've got an engineering drawing, I've got true views of the plant, the laser scans, and so on and so forth. I need to be able to somehow at the time of capture, bring it in and link and cross-reference this information for easy navigation of the plant information. Once I've gone through these 3 steps, I need to go and do a quality assurance and quality check on these drawings and documents, so that after the identification of the masters, I now identify which one of these is closest to as built, and whether I should be redrawing them so that they are as built. And once that quality assurance process is completed, you start repurposing it. What the repurpose means is to basically go into the management of these drawings and documents that have been captured, so that we do not go back to having unstructured information from unstructured information effectively. I need to be able to, from that point on, using H2O information management, use revision management capabilities and actually manage this information going forward, so that any person accessing this information at any point in time can rely on this information, especially in emergency situations. So where SmartPlant Fusion fits within this whole portfolio, it basically takes care of the first 3 steps. Once those 3 steps have been completed, and the quality assurance and quality check process is completed, for which various tools are available from Intergraph, basically you go into the H2O information management module, where you start managing this information or repurposing this information. So how does this all work? How do these 3 specific steps work? So let's look at the rapid capture of information. As mentioned before, and I'm sure everyone will agree, that there are various sources of information within a plant. So you've got laptops full of information, there are servers, there are the Z drives, there are the O drives, and you also have a lot of hard copies going around. So Fusion basically is a means of providing a way to analyze all this information, all the documents and drawings lying around in different sources. If there are hard copies available, then they need to be scanned in and put in some source. And that source needs to be plugged into Fusion for it to start capturing this information. So it goes around and crawls around all these sources and captures all this information and brings all this together into one place. What Fusion doesn't do, and the way it actually allows the rapid way of capturing happen, is it doesn't actually go start moving the files around. It just captures the information about these files and brings that information into its own database. Once it has done that, basically all the sources have been ticked, and it then provides a way of navigating this information using a dashboard. So there's an index that is created of all this information from various sources, all these files and documents, and then the dashboard provides a way of quickly navigating through this information. So the second step is identification of the master. So once I've captured all this information, I've got them all in one place, I can go and find this information in the dashboard. I need to be able to go and identify the master set, because duplicates are going to be found in the brownfield information source. So in the dashboard, I can quickly go and have a look at all these duplicates, which have been identified automatically by Fusion using document naming conventions, tag naming conventions, and so on and so forth. And in the dashboard, I can go and have a look at the thumbnails of these drawings and documents. So the first level of identification of the master allows you to basically look at these thumbnails, and you may find the watermarks like superseded, crossed out, and cancelled, and you start sorting these out. So between those 2 drawings, the superseded one is gone. So from 20 at the time of, as a process of identification of the master, you come down to about 4. From here, you start comparing it to maybe laser scans that may have been captured, and start comparing the as-built information with this as-is information. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So once as a second step to this process, I can do that, and in the end, I might end up with one drawing that is closest to the as-built. In reality, it will probably not be one. You'll probably find out that there are 2 or 3 copies. One of them is a PDF. One of them is a native rendition, which you do not want to throw away. Another one is a red line markup drawing, which has quite a few latest comments made on the drawing itself. So you bring all those 2 or 3 drawings together, and you say, this is my master set. Not necessarily my master drawing, to be lucky to find one, but this is my master set, and now I want to go ahead and start quality assurance, put quality checks on this master set, and convert them into as-built drawings and manage them going forward. So this is an animation. This is an AVI of the Fusion dashboard. So I'm looking for, in this case, all the drawings and the documents that have been captured. As you can see, there are a few drawings and documents that says true views. So true views can also be captured by Fusion. On the left-hand side, there's various attributes that are captured at the time, that are extracted at the time of the capture. I can use those attributes to filter my viewing area. So in this case, I've basically filtered it by name and said I want to look at this particular drawing. On that drawing, then I can go and say, show me all the related items. So what Fusion does, it not only captures the drawings and documents, it actually goes inside those drawings and documents, reads the content, and extracts using various definitions of tag patterns and so on and so forth, some key indicators like tag numbers, asset numbers, function location, IDs, and so on and so forth. So I've navigated down to now one piece of instrument that I'm interested in. So Dashboard provides you the way of quickly finding all these drawings and documents, navigating through them, filtering them, and finding the specific piece of information that I'm interested in. Once you've done that, you basically launch, if you want to find more information about it, you launch the web portal where we can go and find more information about this piece of instrument. So let's talk about the laser scan. I mentioned a couple of times the laser scanning and the true views. So this is a capability that is built into Fusion and is one of the synergy solutions which is provided by Intergraph and the laser scanning provided by Leica Geosystems. So laser scanner is basically a scanner that you go on site, you put in front of a section of the plant. There are various rules and methods in the way that scanners need to be put and the scans need to be organized for capturing the whole plant. But effectively, you put the scanner in front of it and it basically scans the plant area that you put in front of in a 360-degree view. In addition to scanning, doing the laser scanning, what can also be done is using the same scanner but a different camera, you can go ahead and take high-definition photographs, 360-degree photographs, that produces a true representation of the plant. And then these photographs can be overlaid on top of the actual scans to produce what are called true views. So effectively, your true representation of the plant as a person would see it, but in the back behind these photos are the actual point clouds that were captured by the laser scanner. Now, these true views can then be hotspotted, as we call them, so you can put your tag numbers or your asset numbers or your function location numbers on the true views as hot links. And then Fusion can capture these true views as another source of information. And when it does that, it actually picks up these hot links and the tag numbers in exactly the same way it would do for the drawings and the documents. But what it ends up with is a system where your true representation or the true views are linked to your drawings and documents using the tag numbers as a means of doing that. So that I can go into a true view and say, show me this particular pump in a drawing. And I can go and find that drawing. The Fusion will find that drawing automatically and present it to the user. So this is all brought together in the web portal. As we mentioned before, we launched the web portal from the dashboard. So that was the valve, the instrument that we were interested in that case. And what I'm doing here is I'm going and saying, show me this show me the laser scans this valve exists on as well. So as you can see, there are 4 laser scans or 4 true views that this valve was extracted from, and I'm just looking at one of them right now. So it provides me the full navigation capabilities, 360-degree view of that section of the plant that was captured. So I'm going around in this case, and I'm saying, well, I'm interested in that instrument as well. So I'll click on that, and immediately on the left-hand side, you'll see that information for that piece of instrument is launched within the portal. From here, I can say, well, I want to see all the document revisions or all the documents related to this particular instrument, and I want to go and look at the engineering drawing associated with it. As you can see, there are 2 engineering drawings, so there may be 2 PNIDs that have been captured. So that's my PNID launched within the same portal. So on the top, you have the as-built plant, looking at the actual plant, and at the bottom, you have the drawings that were created for as the design intent of the plant. Now I can click within the drawing, and I can say, well, show me it will automatically move the laser scan or the true view to go and identify that within the true view and focus on that particular instrument. So you can see there is a bidirectional navigation happening, a navigation that will allow users to be able to not only capture information, but also navigate this information in a very intelligent manner. So now I'm interested in the operational manual, which was also captured by Fusion and cross-linked with the laser scans and the engineering drawings as well. So you can see different sources of information, different types of file formats. This is a PDF document. We saw a native AutoCAD drawing before, and on the top we have the true views. So I'm just searching through that tag number. As you can see, it's part of the content of the document. So when the document was captured by Fusion, it actually captured that and cross-linked it with any other drawing or document it had captured, which had the tag on it. So a very easy way of navigating through this information. And it's very critical to have this kind of a portal available to users, especially in emergency situations where they're looking for the correct piece of information. As I mentioned before, Fusion allows you to capture all this information, and then it needs to be taken forward into H2O information management for it to become trustworthy. But Fusion is the first step to doing that. So once those steps have been completed, what you will end up with is a portal where you will have all this navigation capability, and also after the QA/QC and repurposing processes have been completed, you have your as-built plant sitting on the top of the frame, and you have your as-built drawings or documents at the bottom. So effectively what we are saying is H2O information management it provides a way of capturing information using Fusion capabilities and then repurposing quality assurance, quality check, and repurposing, managing this information going forward using SmartPlant Foundation and SmartPlant Enterprise for owner-operators. So in a sense, what we are talking about are steps that allow us to acquire data in a rapid way and bring them all into one single source. Once we've done that, we reestablish this configuration. We go through and do identification of masters. We do linking and cross-referencing of information, and then take it forward. Once we've completed these steps, what we are basically gearing towards is more efficient and more effective operations and safer operations. So what that means is H2O information management brings all these capabilities together to give you a platform where you can bring your unstructured information and move it through various intelligent tools and automatic linking and cross-referencing, and move it into a state where this information is trustworthy and can be relied upon during emergency situations. And that concludes my presentation for H2O information management. I thank you for your attention.